Okay. Well, welcome everybody. It's good to see you all, even though I can't actually see you. So I can see my presentation. But one of the first things that I was going to talk about and just play this little video for you. This has come up recently a couple of different times about, properties not in the MLS and getting paid and making sure you get paid. And this is super short, but I think it does a good explanation of that, since I've seen it more recently with properties not on the market and people doing deals and just making sure you guys get something in writing. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. It can just literally be an email of what they're going to pay you. But it's been happening a little bit more, and people were wondering, and I came across this and thought it explained it well. I can get it to play. Why it's not playing. That's really weird. It worked last night. That is really strange, because it was working last night when I embedded it in here. Now it's not playing.
If you send me the link, I can always upload it into SweetAssist too.
Okay, I'll send you the link. It's really short, but it just kind of explains, that agents need to cooperate with agents. So, if it's in the best interest of your client, you need to cooperate with other agents to get the property sold, whatever the case may be. So just because somebody's not a member of the MLS or your MLS, but they've got a buyer, you need to cooperate with them if it's in your client's best interest. And that if they're not a member of your MLS, or you're not a member of their MLS, or it's not on the MLS, you need to get in writing and make sure you get compensated. And like I say, it can be as simple as an email or a text of what they're going to compensate you, but it just needs to be in writing so you have proof of some kind of payment, because the MLS lists the commission, and that is your agreement with that agent to get paid. So if you don't belong to their board, or they don't belong to your board, then there's technically no agreement to get paid. And like I said, I don't know why it won't play. It's a really good explanation. She did a good job. And it worked last night when I went through it. So I'm not really sure why it doesn't work now. Really odd. But we'll upload it because it actually was good information. Sorry about that. And the other thing, since we're starting to see a lot of sellers offering concessions in the MLS, offering, whether it's agent bonuses or, agent bonus, that's in the MLS, that's a given. You don't need something else in writing because it's already your contract to get paid. But if they're offering your buyers, like $5,000 in closing costs, or I don't know, maybe they say they'll put in new carpet and buyer gets the pay, whatever it may be. Just because it's in the MLS doesn't mean the seller has to do it. It has to be in your contract. If that's terms your buyer wants and wants to say, yeah, I want that, it needs to be written in the contract. If it's not written and agreed to signed contract, the seller is not obligated to provide that for your buyer. And I thought with seeing the different, seeing all this, I'm starting to see it in the MLS, and we do have a lot of new agents. So I thought that would be good to kind of go over and just make sure that if it's something that they're offering, you guys put it in the contract and make sure it's in there. Otherwise, they don't have to do it. It's not enforceable, and your buyer will out.
No, I'm glad you brought that up. And it's super important that agents know commissions cannot be listed in the contract. It has to be separate. So discussing commissions is outside of the contract. And then if you're writing writing this kind of stuff, any compensations, any concessions, anything to the buyer, always ask the lender, because it depends on the buyer's loan and what they're putting down. The buyer may or may not be able to receive these items, or the lender may not want it on the contract. So I always reference back to the lender first, so.
Absolutely. Always check with the lender. Because they also don't like, I mean, as long as we're on this topic, just real quick, you know, when you're getting a credit for repairs, you don't write that in the addendum. You don't write in lieu of repairs, because the lender hates that. You just say, because you're giving it towards their closing costs. So yes, you agreed, instead of repairs, you're gonna give the seller's gonna give your buyer, you know, whatever, $3,000. You just put seller to give buyer $3,000 in closing costs at close of escrow or whatever. You don't need to put in lieu of repairs on that addendum, because lenders typically don't like that, and it causes problems. And you don't want to open that can of worms. And it really is towards the closing costs anyways. That's what they're doing. It's not like they're giving it to you for repairs. They're giving it to you for closing costs, and then you're going to go do what you want with the repairs after closing. So. And I don't know if you guys are aware of the new law that Governor Ducey signed in April about wholesaling. It's going into effect September 24th. So what this new law is, because there's been a lot of problems with wholesaling and people not disclosing their intent and a lot of lawsuits. So they've signed this new law into place, stating that you have to disclose your intentions, whether you're disclosing it to a seller or a buyer. So before you enter into a binding agreement, a wholesale buyer of residential property needs to disclose in writing to the seller that the buyer is a wholesale buyer, or the wholesale seller of a residential property. If you're the seller wholesaling, you have to disclose to the buyer in writing that you hold an equitable interest in the property and that you may not be able to convey title to the property. Because we have all these like middleman going on where somebody's buying it and then they're selling it to someone else before they've actually closed on it and assigning it. And it's like a whole thing. And it's really caused a lot of problems and lawsuits. So they signed this law into place, and you know, it can be as simple when it says in writing, it can be in the contract. You can disclose it in the contract. And just in the other, like specifically, you can put it in the additional terms and conditions sections of the sale contract, because that way it is in writing, it's in the offer, it's not, there's no binding agreement yet. You've disclosed it. If you're the person buying and you're disclosing to the seller, you write it in the contract so that they are aware that you are intending to wholesale the property. And it really is a good thing. It protects you as well if you are buying it as a wholesaler, because if you don't disclose it, what happens is you've got, you know, elderly people that maybe don't understand, and then you get the kids coming in going, my parents got took, and then you're in a lawsuit, or you've got the kids doing it because they just want to get rid of the property. So it's actually a really good thing to be disclosing this and be upfront about everyone's intentions. It's going to hopefully save a lot of lawsuits. So
yeah, we've actually fired a couple agents because they were wholesaling illegally. Everyone at Bliss is a licensed agent, so you've got to use our AR real estate purchase contracts. You have to use our purchase contracts, and you have to disclose if you're assigning. And this really is a big deal, guys. A lot of the wholesaling deals will work through assigning, and you'll see the assigning probably go through 4 or 5 different names before it'll even close, and you'll see 2 or 3 different title companies also dabbling on this. So there's lawsuits now starting to come through. So wholesaling is one thing, doing it correctly That's what we want you guys to be doing.
I recently had my first situation where my buyer was wholesaling and, I mean, it went through and you guys, everything was approved, but I got the verbiage for that, for the additional terms and conditions from my title company. They actually gave me what they wanted to see. Is there someplace where we can post that kind of thing, or is that just a by situation or?
We can post it in Sweet Assist. It's just disclosing it
Yeah,
and know your intentions.
yeah. that
Yeah,
makes
this
sense.
this is pretty much it. And if you're assigning it, like, it's got to be disclosed what you're doing and how you're going about it, because that's the intent, is the wholesalers or whoever you are. If you're randomly knocking on people's doors and they don't speak English, maybe they're 90 years old or whatever's going on, and you're taking advantage of the situation. So that's probably some of the lawsuits coming in, and they think that, they're selling their house for cash, which they are, but they don't understand that it's gonna probably touch 5 or 6 different buyers and probably sell for a lot higher down the road. And they probably could have sold it for a lot higher, when it's all said and done. And that's what's happening is, wholesaling is one thing, taking advantage of the public and also being a licensed agent, not okay. So when you're licensed, we all have ethics and rules to follow. When you're not licensed, then yeah, you don't have to follow any of this.
Yeah. And it also depends on your intent as to exactly what you're disclosing. Because if you intend to assign it, that's different than you just intend to resell it for more money. And that you're disclosing that you're going to buy it and sell it for more money in whatever, a month, 2 months. Some people assign it and literally sell it to someone else before they even own it. So it kind of depends on your intent as to what you're disclosing. So it can vary. Okay. I just wanted to let you guys know that we're going to be changing the commission disbursement form. We are going to add wire instructions instead. And going forward, we're going to give that a whirl to see if we can't speed things up for you guys. If we can get title to wire the funds into our bank account, then we can kind of speed up getting the money and distributing checks. So there's nothing you guys need to do. In the next day or two, I will get the updated form in there, and then that will just be the form. And there's nothing you have to do. You don't have to change any of your upcoming closings, nothing like that. Just know that we're gonna try it out, see how it works, and hopefully be able to turn checks a little bit quicker even for you guys is the goal. So hopefully it works out with title to wire us funds. So just wanted to give you guys a heads up on that. And then Sweet Assist, how's everybody doing with Sweet Assist? Is it coming along? Most of the comments I've gotten, people are really liking it. I mean, obviously we're all like learning new things and figuring stuff out. Probably the biggest issue that I am seeing is agents forgetting to hit the submit for review button when you load your documents into the checklist for review. And I don't know they're there. It doesn't tell me they're there unless you hit that button. So in order for me to find them, I have to look through about 100 transactions and about 10 pages of files to try and find docs if you guys don't hit that button. So if you can remember to hit the button, it's super helpful because it takes a long time to search those out. So that's kind of the biggest thing I would say, because that's new. You didn't have to hit a button in SkySlope. And we did ask them about removing it, but I can't remember why they couldn't, because something wouldn't work right. It wouldn't automatically populate. It wasn't set up to do that. So hopefully, and I know people are getting better, so hopefully we can remember to hit the submit for review button as we move forward, as we're all digging into it and learning. I know you can't probably see this super great, but if you've had a transaction, I probably turned on your notifications for you so that I could talk to you, so you would get notified. But if you go, like when you sign into your account, you go up into your little profile up here and click on it, and then you can like update your profile. You'll see your notifications button. If you click on that, you've got two different sets of notifications, like so you can turn on to see if your docs have been declined. The chat notification feature. So if you get a chat from me, or if I send you something, it'll notify you in your email that I said something to you about your file, and vice versa. My notifications are on, so I get your notifications when you ask a question in the chat. It comes to my email. And you can go through there. There's all kinds of things. You can customize it to your liking of what you want to be notified about. I mean, the main thing is probably knowing that your docs were declined. Chat feature, I turned on, if I've gone in there and done it for you, I turned on your news chat notification so that when we post updates in the news tab, it'll notify you that we told you something, like we've made a statement or there's some change or something we wanted you guys to know. We put it up in the news section and you'll get notified of that. So I've turned those on, but you can be notified if I've approved your docs. If you want, I mean, so you have a lot of choices as to what you might want to be notified of, and you can go through there and kind of play with that. And you can go into your profiles, you can add pictures, you can put in more information than was in there, and you can kind of customize it to what you want it to be. And I know some people already have. There are pictures, some people have loaded their pictures and they've done different things. They've turned on what they've wanted on. So if you haven't played in there yet, it's pretty cool, and you can adjust it to be how you want it to be. And then I just wanted to point out, it jumped ahead. If you go to your bar on the left where it says training, you can click on there and then it'll say training room at the top, and then it lists, like we have videos of everything in there. You can search out if you're looking for something specific, you can search it out, but like we just loaded a bunch of great transaction desk videos on training on how to use transaction desk that are in there now. They have, we loaded like some vacant land, different training videos, because I know a lot of times we don't do a ton of land and then you guys get one. They've got some great videos and information on vacant land and filling out, you know, contracts and whatnot for that. We have in there, if you like specifically Google, like you can put in the search bar Suite Assist and it'll pull up. They've made us different little videos you'll see in there. And specifically, one other thing that people seem to be struggling with, because it is a little bit hard, is if you load something wrong into the wrong spot, or you didn't want it there, or the wrong doc, deleting it out. They actually have in all these short little videos they did for us, like they walk you through how to delete docs out of the checklist if you did it by accident or whatever the case may be. But they have little short 1-minute videos, so you're not having to watch the whole training just to find out one little piece that you can't remember how to do. And we had them upload those for us in there and do that. So those are there. So you can like look around, you just type in Suite Assist and it'll take you down. Otherwise you can scroll all the way through the list, but if you know what you're looking for, you can specifically type it in and it'll bring it up. Like the office meetings, like here's past office meetings. If I typed up in this little search bar there, I just typed office and it immediately goes to all the office meetings, and you can click on them and watch any of them. And it's all under the training room in your left-hand bar. It's got past classes, the office meetings, all that good stuff's in there. Does anyone have like any questions? Are you guys doing okay? I know learning new software sometimes can be stressful.
You guys are quiet.
I have a quick question about the checklists. So there's a checklist tab and it doesn't necessarily have anything in it, but I did see when I started, like when I added a listing, I could see that you know, all these certain things were needed in, gosh, I'm not even sure, in the documents tab maybe. But under the checklist tab at the top, those are empty. Is there a purpose for that checklist? Does that make sense?
Not entirely. The
Okay.
checklist, you have to load your docs into there for review.
But there's like a checklist tab. So there's the details tab at the top, and then checklist, and then tasks, and then documents, and then CDA form and contacts, blah, blah, blah. But when you click on the checklist tab at the top, it just says no questions found, no questions found, active, closing. It's not like a typical checklist like what we had in SkySlope, where
Do
you
you
could
mean
just,
the
sorry,
task list?
I'm sorry?
The checklists are there. I'm not sure what you're talking about, but there's a task list. There's nothing there. You would have, that's for you if you want to create your self tasks.
Right, but under the checklist tab on the left, to the left of the task list, there's nothing in mine.
Oh, the left. I'd have to look at it because
Okay.
I haven't seen that. All the checklists are populated, so I'm not quite sure what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's actually a really neat system. So when you're in there, you can actually go in and assign reminders for your inspection periods, your appraisals, your and this is actually really important, especially for brand new agents. So set reminders on when things are due, and you know, the bins are 3 days when your lawn doc should be coming in, or the CD, or when you need to set reminders for utilities. Like this system is there to really help you be a great agent. It's got a lot of features in here, guys, and we're just barely getting going. Like I'm trying to get all the videos over from SharePoint, and as I'm getting in, I'm finding more stuff on YouTube that I can upload in here that we've never accessed before. So we haven't even customized this yet. Sweet Assist, that there's over 75 brokerages using this system. So as much as we've gotten used to SkySlope, this is even, you know, better.
Yeah, it's a lot more robust. It does
Yeah.
a lot more features and functions to help you guys with your transactions and
Mhm.
sales task and
Yeah. So it just give everyone just needs a little time because it's just learning different software. I was going to ask because, you know, we have the option to post news in here. You guys have the option to comment, to also post things. Is it beneficial to not use the Teams channel? I know a lot of people use the Facebook group, but also agents aren't joining the Facebook group either. So it's like hit or miss. Some agents are not on social media. So do we utilize in here for chatting and not the Teams channel? Because I can tell that a lot of people have dropped off. So just putting that out there just to see what you guys want to do.
I have a question.
Mhm.
It's on submitting documents. Are we having to hit submit on each document, or once we finish putting what we needed in there, then we hit submit?
so, I mean, if you're loading, let's say 10 docs at once,
Yes.
you just hit submit once. You don't have to
Okay.
hit it each time.
Okay. That's all I needed to know.
And then like if you go in 2 days later and load 5 more docs, then you
Right.
have to hit submit again.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. And I think Courtney raised her hand. I thought I saw her flash up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just want to say that I personally think that if we keep the chat in Sweet Assist, it would be more convenient to have everything in one place. And then also, Lisa, I uploaded in the chat below a picture of what Terry's talking about with the checklist showing nothing available so that you could see what she was talking about. There's a pic. I was in Sweet Assist, so I just took a snapshot of it. It's in the chat.
Okay.
Well, and I did submit to tech support to them because I uploaded the transaction desk training and then somehow it upload like 11 times and then notified everyone.
To complete this call in English, please press.
Someone's calling in English, but so anyway, they don't know what happened. The system had glitched that night, but that was the first time I had checked to notify everyone because I wanted to see what would happen. So sorry, for some reason, it just happened to glitch when we did that, but I had to actually go in and remove because I noticed it uploaded like 11 times too. So, but yeah, we're uploading videos. I found some investing videos. I found market videos and just other videos to upload. So go in there. If you guys have things that you're wanting, let me know. I did talk to some other title companies too, because I've uploaded title and escrow and they're like 8 years old from First American. So, but they were good explanation, especially for agents coming on that are new, that are not sure of, you know, what is title and escrow, what are title commitments, what's the settlement statement, what is this, what is that. They're good refresher videos and they're not super long, but they're in there. You know, so definitely look around. Oh, and the third party options, which are at the top, if you click that, then those are just quick links to go to the agent info site, to Photofy. Hopefully you guys are using Photofy. I'm trying to use it. I used it again last night. We pay for it, so hopefully you guys are using it. So all the links are in there, the link to the locker room, that it's all in there, the third party. So you just do a drop down and quick links right there. So let me know if the links aren't working.
And
Yeah.
one more question.
in there.
It is on the notes that you're putting in. If you're using a transaction coordinator, those notes go to the transaction coordinator as well. And if I delete them on my end, is she still seeing them? Like if I've seen them and I cleared out of them, is she still seeing those notes?
I would think she is. Two
Okay.
separate people.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was just concerned about that. Okay, that's what I needed.
Yeah. Like I said, we're like every day I go in there and I discover something new too.
Yeah,
That we're still vamping this up
Yeah.
and moving stuff over and setting things up. So
yeah.
bear with
What-
us. Well, we're learning right along with you. So
Yeah. I mean, and you guys, like, I include you guys on things. It took us a year to really find a system to move over from Broker Sumo. I mean, we needed a good onboarding system, accounting system, and this happened to do transactions also. And the locker room referred us to this. And it's very hard to find a system that does all things that we were looking for, something that meets Lisa's needs and the broker's needs and the agent's needs. And that's also up on technology because that's something that I'm always looking for. And I spoke to a couple other brokerages that use this system. One of the brokerages is out of Florida and they have over 400 agents using this system. And the other brokerage had over 1,000 agents. So guys, we have barely 100 agents and they're capable of using the system. It took them a little bit to get it in and to get it customized for what their brokerages use it for and how they want to use it. But what they all said was that the tech support was awesome and that anytime they wanted changes or needed things to be done, they're on it. And they have. I talked to the owner constantly. And I had told him, I said, look, you don't know who you're dealing with, like I'll be pushing you. So, because I love technology and so does my husband. And I was like, there's things already that need to change. So, not in a bad way, like in a good way for them. And I mean, we're the first brokerage in Arizona to use this system. So they were super excited anyways. And they were the first brokerage they've ever offered to move files over from SkySlope. They've never done that before. They did it for us because we were smaller and they wanted practice doing it. So, you know, we worked with them on that and, you know, so we appreciate all of you and, going through this because change is never fun. I mean, I don't enjoy change either. So, I'm the first one to acknowledge that. I like my routines. I like everything. I like to just roll through and just push through and just, I like to know I'm a creature of habit. So I think Lisa knows that. I think the coaches know that. So when something gets thrown off filter, I kind of freak out a little bit. So,
Yeah.
so
I was
anyway.
thinking about the moving files over from SkySlope.
Mhm.
I noticed that they moved any files that were currently active or pending, but I don't see any of the closed files, or none of those are getting moved over.
Oh, they are. We pay
Oh,
for
okay.
that. Mhm.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
but
they're
you guys
just
don't, you don't need to access that unless the brokerage has to keep closed files for X amount of years. So that's on
Right.
us. Yeah.
Okay, so is that something that we'll ever be able to see if we need to refer back to them or no?
Well, I mean, if you have to access it, then we'll have it in Suite Assist. I don't know where they're going to be storing it, but yeah. Mhm.
Okay, so it'll never be in our dashboard with our like past closed files that won't ever pull into our stuff.
No. They
Yeah,
it should be closed and archived.
yeah.
Okay, thank you.
So to
Yeah.
add to that,
You need them.
okay. So well, to add to that, outside of access to the file, just record of the closing itself. So like in our statistics or just showing that we have previous closings.
Mhm.
Will it ever show there? Like in the if you were to go to the transactions tab, it shows like there's nothing previously closed. So like I clearly wouldn't need access to the file itself, but it's showing like there's nothing ever closed before,
Yeah,
right?
it seems like that would be a good thing to go to, because if we're having our goals set and then we're showing, it seems like that's not accurately tracking whatever goal we might be putting in if it's not showing where we've come from already, if that makes sense, like what
Right.
we've accomplished.
Well, right now it's not a priority. So probably in the next 30 days, that'll be something they're working on.
Oh,
The
okay.
most priority was getting over the current transactions. And so we still have access, Lisa and I have access to SkySlope. So just like in paperless before SkySlope, we have access to our files there. So your transactions are also in MLS where they're recorded for sales, but it's still an ongoing process right now from SkySlope into Suite Assist.
That makes sense. But it's good to know they'll
Yeah.
be there. Thank you.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And if
We
you
have to.
go into your accounts though, you can see your caps and that are there. And they're
Mhm.
you can see where you reside. So that is there.
Yeah. Yeah, but not the actual file.
So they
I
just
did notice that, Lisa.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thanks for pointing that out.
Yeah, our biggest thing was making sure like accounting, like Lisa really, you guys have no idea, like she's not only because software glitches. And so she writes everything down and her and I have access to SharePoint. So SharePoint is still our company and we track things on spreadsheets there also. And so we track everything. There's like records upon records and bookkeeping, and then we have our CPA and QuickBooks. So believe me, there's records. So this is not just,
spots.
huh? Yeah,
I have it in 3 different spots.
yeah. So so we have the transactions and then we still have the CPA, the accounting, because the files are one thing, but also ensuring that your guys's your caps, your commissions and all that and the fees, that everything is accurate. I mean, that's really, really important to me. And that it's transparent because nothing is nothing's a secret, right? We all know what we're paying. You guys should all be able to see what you've paid into the company and so, and what you get for your money. So, yeah, so if you ever have questions, reach out to me, reach out to Lisa. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's a little painful right now because Sweet Assist has, we have to make sure their numbers are accurate and because they were pulling everything from Broker Sumo. But that was one of our frustrations is Broker Sumo's reporting and their systems weren't working half the time. So,
Yeah, it was hit or miss.
yep. So, yeah.
Well, yeah, so anyway, super robust system. We're still moving stuff over, still setting
Mhm.
stuff up. And as far as that checklist section, I don't know if I've ever clicked on it. I'm not really sure. I would have to go back myself and watch the training. I don't know exactly what that's meant for. I don't feel like I've seen that in my side of things. So
Maybe that's a personal agent checklist or something.
that's what I'm wondering, and I can't remember honestly from the training, because like you all, it was a lot of information and we're
Yeah.
studying, so I'm not really sure what that checklist tab is for, just,
Yeah, that makes sense. I know for me personally, and especially when I was newer, it was really, really helpful for me to get to know what I needed to get if I could go to the checklists that were already built out. So, I
but
mean,
they're
I've kind of
not
made
in
my,
the documents
what's
tab.
that? I'm sorry, I missed that.
Oh, they're in the documents tab. Those are what, so that's why I don't know what that checklist tab is for, because the checklists are in the documents tab. It's built out what you need to submit.
Yeah, I did see that there. Okay, well, that's what I was just wondering, because that's just kind of been what my go-to in the past to help me remember. So I just didn't know if that was still being built out or if it's not something we're using.
Like I said, I don't know what that tab's for. I don't remember. I don't remember that from training. I haven't ever clicked on that. I haven't needed it. So I will have to look into that. I don't know what it's for, to be completely honest, but I think it might be if you guys want to build out your own checklist or something. I'm not sure. So we'll have to,
Thank you.
I'll have to look into the
That's okay. Thank you.
reading, but all the checklists are in the documents tab. So we have some good classes coming up. We actually have today, first time homebuyers class with Stacy. So hopefully if you can join us at 2. Next, gosh, I feel like it's next week, but that's actually Thursday. We have Hot Buys with Stephanie. That will be at the Gilbert office in conference room 1 or on Zoom. If you can't make it in person and still want to join, you can get on Zoom and be part of that. And that's this week. So next week, we've got purchase contracts and contingencies with Mara. Gonna go over some of the different things with that. We have an inspection class coming up, things that you should know when previewing a house with BPG with Brian Lang. He does a great job, so they're going to do a class for us on that. We've got real estate investing coming up, continuing with Courtney. We've got Loans 101 for new and experienced agents with Dakota at the end of the month. And then going into October, we've got creating a network group and doing your networking to get business with Stacy coming up. And we're doing New Builds 101, October 13th. And we're working on a business planning class for early November. So there'll be more details about that for planning your businesses for next year, and what you want to achieve and goals. Those are always really good. The next office meeting, normally they are the second Thursday of the month. I had to postpone this one just a little bit, so thanks for bearing with me as we're working through the new system. I just need a little more time to put it together. And I realized in October, I accidentally booked a class on the second Thursday of the month. So the next meeting is actually going to be Wednesday, the 12th at 11 for the next office meeting. So it will be on a Wednesday, but it's normally the second Thursday of the month. But mark your calendars for Wednesday, the 12th for October. And for recognition for the month of September. I always need a drum roll. I need to get a machine. So September Agent of the Month goes to Vicki Wang for the month of September. Yay!
Yay!
I need like a New Year's horn and like
I know.
get one so I can be obnoxious. So yay, Vicki. Vicki's been with us for quite a few years and she's always killing it. She's out there. She works her little heart out. We're so proud of Vicki. We're so proud of all of you, but we're so proud of Vicki. She's just really works her business, very consistent, and she's very busy. I haven't seen Vicki in a while. I don't even know if she's on here. Vicki? I don't think she's on. I'm not sure she was able to make it today. And the President's Award goes to Stella this month. Yay, Stella! Oh, there goes my dog again. He's joining in. So anyway, Stella joined us. She's been with us for a little while and she's really been working hard. She's been doing some commercial stuff with Sean and getting out there in the community and talking to other agents and really working hard, and we're proud of Stella and all her achievements and what she's accomplishing. So yay, Stella. Oops. And I just accidentally went past my thing. Anyways, and our August Business Partner of the Month is Tima Title. And for those of you who haven't given Tima a try, Jessica Hoyt's the business development management. Debbie in particular is an escrow officer that Mara and I have worked very closely with on multiple transactions. And I will say that as far as for me, I think their service so far has been bar none. Debbie is amazing. She responds to emails on the weekends, like immediately. I'm like, that poor girl's gonna burn out. Like she is so responsive. She must be glued to her email. She is always responding to anything, whether it's late at night, weekends. She is all over it and very on top of it. And it's really been a good experience. So
Debbie's been just amazing. And they don't charge for their notary fees, but she lost both her parents, I found out last year to COVID. So yeah. So she's been working even though she's been dealing with losses of her own, and you wouldn't even know it, you know?
wow, yeah.
Yeah.
She is all over it. It's been a good experience. And if you've seen the videos, you know with Tima, you can buy shares based on your production and the deals you do with them, which is kind of a nice little residual bonus too. But aside from that, the service is amazing. So it's not just, oh, if you use us, you can get some residual income. I mean, they actually have really good service. And I care more about that even than the residual income, which is a nice bonus, but their service has been great.
Hey, I'm jumped on. Sorry. It's Jessica.
What?
I said, it's Jessica. I jumped on. I'm literally in walking. So I was like, oh my gosh, you messaged me. So hi,
hey.
I'm so sorry. I wanted to be on the call today and I thought.
We can't hear you. We lost you.
Can you hear me?
Now I can.
Okay, sorry about that. Like I'm in a sketchy area.
Well, we're glad you joined us today.
Thank you. It's super last minute. Sorry, I just was chatting with Mara yesterday and if I can be on your list.
Yeah.
Man, so But if anybody has any questions or needs, then I'm
Awesome. Well, I was glad you're on here and you got to hear us talk about you. See, I didn't even know you were listening. And that's all I got, guys. That was it. So unless Mara has anything to add or anyone's got any more questions, we are all done.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank
Thanks.
you, guys.
Have a great rest of your
Thank you. Have a great day.
You too.
you.
All right. Bye, guys.
Thank you.
Hopefully we'll see you at 2.